Okay, today we're talking about how to tune your guitar to a D major chord. And there's a lot of different alternate tunings that people use, but this one is actually, you're going to be tuned to a chord, which is not always the case. Sometimes you'll have drop D where the E string goes down to a D and everything else stays in standard tuning. But in this case, we're going to tune to all notes of the D major chord. Those notes are D, F sharp, and A. Now the cool thing is, if you don't have a tuner and you have a halfway decent ear, you can do this, but I highly recommend you try to do it with a tuner so you're much more accurate. That said, we'll start you off with the idea that you don't have a tuner. If that's the case, you fortunately have an A string and a D string, which, assuming they're already in tune, you will have two other strings that you're going to tune down to those pitches. In this case, the low E string, the number 6 E string, is going to go down to a D. And we have the octave D, number 4 string, that we can use as a reference pitch as we take the E string down. So we want to get that an octave lower. Here we go. And we can hear we're going to come down. So now I've got my octave Ds, right? That's pretty solid. One thing you'll have to make a note of is that when you change the pitch drastically on a string, it usually won't stay there the first time you tune it. You'll need to go through and tune it again after a minute if you played it a little bit. But once you've done it, tuned it once, maybe twice or 3 times, it'll settle in nicely for you. So then we've got the A string, okay, the open A string, and we're going to take the number 2 B string and take that down to an A as well. So that's going to be the octave up. Right? Oops. Cool. So now we've got 2 strings left. Well, over here, this high E string, that's also going to become a D. So once again, we can reference the open D string, number 4, and the octave higher. Sorry. Okay, 1 string left to go now. That's the G string. We're going to want to take that down to an F sharp. Now here, we really don't have a reference that we can use from the open strings. However, we can use the F sharp on the 4th fret of the D string as a good reference. Right? There's a open G, and here's the same pitch F sharp, a half step lower on the 4th fret of the D string. So I'm going to use that as a reference if I don't have a tuner. Okay. That's pretty close. Yeah, maybe a little bit high. Now, like I said, these strings may settle out and they won't sound perfect. Initially, they may try to return a little bit higher in this case to where they were. But you can hear we got a nice D major chord right there. And of course now on my 3rd fret is my F, E is my 2nd fret, and G is on my 5th fret. Okay? And there you go. That's how you tune to a D major chord. Have fun.